Spider-Man Miles Morales is a game where you play as Miles Morales, obviously, Peter Parker's sidekick. This game is very similar to the original, and it includes lots of additions to make this feel like a brand new game rather than just a new coat of paint on the game. Even though some of the key elements of Spider-Man Miles Morales, including the map, is the exact same as Peter Parker's variant, brand new exclusive civilian locations, rocks on bases, collectibles around the city, and several other things make this new map exciting to explore while still remaining true to New York. On top of all these changes, you also get to experience the joy and the merriness of Christmas this time, as the winter weather really lets you explore the entire world of Spider-Man again. Speaking of reliving the world of Spider-Man again, this time Spider-Man Miles Morales focuses on the more northern part of New York, including Harmlet, where Miles' home is, and this is as opposed to the southern take and focus in Insomniac's original take on Spider-Man. Combined with these new environmental changes, Spider-Man Miles Morales combat also feels refreshing, while still remaining true to the original game. Adding Miles' Venom moves is a simple way of letting the difficulty rise in ways that Insomniac's original take on Spider-Man never could. For example, the brutes in Marvel's Spider-Man are already a fair bit challenging of an enemy in the original Spider-Man. But now that you have Miles' Venom moves, you no longer have to web them up repeatedly. Instead, you just have to hit them with a Venom punch, and then they're pretty much knocked out already. Now that we've gotten over the things that are similar to Insomniac's original take, now let's talk about the real shiz. As mentioned prior, Miles' Venom moves and camouflaging techniques have made this game a lot better than before. Venom moves replace web shooters in this content, and while I still do enjoy the web shooters more, I do feel like the addition of a stun, super-powered punch that you can only use once in a while is a lot better than the RNG chance that webs had. Combined with this, more quality of life changes have been put into place, such as finishers no longer sharing the bar with healing. Most abilities are also already unlocked instantly. While Miles Morales' general plot is debatable, as there's a lot of things that have been done before, seen here again, I feel like the characters are some of the things that I look the most forward to when playing this game. Sometimes these can include improved aspects from Spider-Man PS4, such as the sympathetic villain in this game, which as opposed to Dr. Octavius is the Tinkerer. Another example of this is also a brand new supporting character and Miles' best friend, DUNKEY. DUNKEY is the supporting character as opposed to MJ and Miles, and is a lot just better in my opinion, considering that he is more involved with the story and he is more involved with just general aspects such as helping Miles become Spider-Man rather than MJ and Miles, who both just be there, because Peter already has all of the motivation he needs, even if sometimes he's gonna need a pep talk or two. But as I've already mentioned, Miles Morales does not only copy stuff from Spider-Man PS4, and it adds a number of good characters as well, such as Real Morales, which is an Aunt May-esque character that appears more frequent in the story and has less guidance for Miles, but more just family and love. Another character added is the Prowler. This cool uncle wants the best for Miles, and he always just cares and loves for him, but he is caught up in his life of crime and in the process hurts Miles as well. There's also Simon Krieger, who is purely terrifying and evil, despicable dude to throw all of your hate at, which is something that I feel like has majorly improved in Miles Morales as opposed to Spider-Man PS4, which in Spider-Man PS4 there was Otto Octavius, who you could sympathize for more than hate. And of course, Miles Morales having this contrast between good guy who is a villain and bad guy who is a villain is just a brilliant move. Even if it is overused, I still feel it's one of the most effective out there. Moving back onto gameplay, Miles Morales also had some more stealth options. On the original, you were limited to standing on top of ledges or sneaking up behind enemies to knock them out. The stealth system has now been improved to add ceiling and wall takedowns. Miles now also has camo mode, which makes the stealth combat experience where it's okay to mess up and you don't instantly have to go to close combat, or you don't instantly have to go back to the start of the mission, which I just feel is a great move for beginners and even some veterans. In the end, while I feel like Spider-Man Miles Morales will truly never be seen by the majority of the fans as anything more than a DLC or a bridge to fill the gap between Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2,
Pizza time.
I still feel that Spider-Man Miles Morales deserves more than that. It kicks back on the stuff that make me want to rip my hair out, like the minigun brutes, and instead delivers a more quality and easier experience. And while I do feel that Miles Morales is objectively better, that sense of working towards that fantastic suit that Miles Morales doesn't have, that feeling that you're never truly done, is the one thing I still prefer about the original as opposed to Miles Morales, and why I will always hold the PS4 classic dear to heart. Despite my few criticisms of this game still deserves an S grade. And this is only on the PS4, keep in mind. And pre-patch before some of the bugs are fixed. I'm just saying, I didn't talk at all about the graphics, even though they're brilliant. Why did I do that?